Here we are at the actual heating process. When you dye any fiber, you want to make sure that you are applying the actual dye bath. You want to make sure that the fiber is wet, acidic, so it's necessary to purchase distilled white vinegar for that purpose. I used probably about 2 or 3 tablespoons in the soaking water where I soaked my fiber in water to open it up, and pictures will be on my blog of how that looks while just sitting in water as well as out of the water. And then I applied the dye using a syringe type of bottle, but it's just actually a upcycled rather hair conditioning bottle that I bought a long time ago, and I just cleaned it out, and because it has this little spout, and the spout was really useful because I kept having problems, as you saw earlier, with the seeds and the pulp getting back into the dye bath. I don't really want that in the yarn, even though I'll eventually wash it anyway after it comes out of there, out of the plastic bag. But I still want to make sure that the dye bath has those little particles of flesh from the berries and seeds and things like that. As you can see, that's left at the end of at the bottom of the jar. So I used this syringe, which kind of acted as like a little filter through the hole, so that when I applied it to the dye, it didn't. A lot of the seeds were still inside here. But as you can see, I still have a lot of the dye left. When I started to apply the dye, I noticed that the color is light, but it's a natural color. So natural dyes rather, won't really be really vibrant or bright colors. They'll be kind of not dull, but not as vibrant as using, say, a color fast dye or even a food dye or even Kool-Aid. Natural dyes just have just that natural look. So this has been cooling off for probably about 20 to 25 minutes. It sat in simmering water for about an hour because it's natural. I just let it go. The heat is what sets the dye in the fiber. So you need heat, you need water, of course you need fiber and color. So what we're going to do is take our wet mass, carry it over, still kind of has a lot of water in it. Let's come out a little bit. And we're just going to just carry it over to the sink. Okay. So at this point, we're just going to open it up and see what we have in store for us today. And that's it. That's how it looks. So we dye with berries. It's very, very hot, so I won't handle it by hand much. I need to use a spoon just to move it over. And then we're going to start the rinsing process. Now this particular fiber is a Superwash Merino. So this is not going to felt. So I wasn't really concerned with temperature changes, agitation, or anything else like that will cause the fiber to felt, because it's superwash, which basically means that it's been treated with a particular chemical at the mill, or Paradise Fibers, where I got this from. Shout out to Paradise Fibers, yay! I just joined their fiber club and look forward to getting a lot of surprise fiber from them every month. For $35 a month, I can't beat that, because I purchased a heart bat from my local yarn shop. Got 4 ounces for $30, which was a little bit of a pricey purchase, but I wanted to try it outside it. And I liked it. I'll probably show the results of that some other time. But for now, we're going to continue to rinse this dye. And basically what's going to happen is we need to rinse it until the water runs clear. But if you can see, even at the water that's coming out, it is clear. But I'm going to continue to wash it and rinse it. To make sure that it doesn't run. The acidity that we use in the vinegar and the heating process is what keeps the dye in the yarn and keeps it from running out when you wash it. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with it. I just figured out how I was going to dye it just today using those berries. It was kind of a run-of-the-mill type of thing. So a lot of the dye is running out of it, but I'm just going to continue to just rinse it out. So it's going to kind of be light in some spots, dark in some spots. That's kind of the appeal of dyeing. You never really know how it's going to come out. You just experiment, try out different things, and you know, usually I like my results. Typically, it's never usually what I expected. It's always something else, something different. But I welcome it all. It's all cool. So after this continues to rinse, I'm not going to use any soap on this. It's not really necessary because it's berries. If it was a chemical dye, or even sometimes even not really food coloring or Kool-Aid, sometimes you can use soap on it, but that's all like food-based, dye. But for your chemical dyes, you want to make sure that you wash it using some soap, just to make sure that anyone that has any type of sensitivity or anything, it doesn't give it any problems. Just to make sure it's always good. But sometimes if you use vinegar, it can have a vinegary smell, but I really rinse the yarn before I apply the dye after I took it out of the bath, the water bath with the vinegar. I rinsed it really, really well to try to get a lot of that vinegariness out of the yarn. It was effective because I didn't really smell the vinegar in the air while I was heating it. It's distinctive. You'll know the smell. It's not a bad smell. It just smells like vinegar. So, and when it dries, you can't really smell it. It's just when it's wet. So I'm just going to continue to rinse this. I'm going to roll it in a towel, and then I'm going to hang it to dry. And it's probably going to dry overnight. It'll be ready in the morning. You need to fondle it and feel it and see what is going on. Even though this particular yarn is very soft and squishy. And I also actually spun this using a Navajo ply. So it's a 3-ply yarn, so it just has this very squishiness to it. Even though it's dense 3-ply, it still has squishiness. It's not really rough at all. So I'm just going to continue to rinse, and then that's it.